Howdy, I'm Bob Terry.
And I'm Johnny Terry.
And welcome to another free episode of the Roy Rogers television show starring Roy Rogers.
And Dale Evans.
And we've been going over the Riders Club rules, and Riders Club rule number 8
is eat all your food and never waste any.
I think every mom in the country backed Roy up on that one constantly.
I think so too.
Get ready for Roy and Dale, because here they come.
The Roy Rogers Show, starring Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, Trigger, his golden palomino, and Dale Evans, Queen of the West, with Pat Brady, his comical sidekick, and Roy's wonder dog, Bullet.
Thanks, Jack. There, Roy. Nellie Bell, am I glad to see you?
Well, hi there, Bud. Did you look after Dale while we were away?
I'll say he did, but he missed you. So did Trigger.
Hi, Trigger.
How's your tires holding up? Oh, bless your little carburetor.
Did you have a good time, Roy?
The best part was coming home.
You ought to seen the cute trick he picked up in Kansas City.
Oh?
She had skin like fresh cream, and the prettiest big brown eyes you ever looked into.
Do tell.
She won a contest, too, for being the best Jersey cow in the state.
Oh, cut it out, Bullet. Well, Dale, I'm anxious to get out to the ranch. Shall we get started?
Fine.
Well, somebody get this four-legged wash rag off of me.
You ride Nellie Bell, Bullet.
Beat you to the big rock.
Yowie! Don't bite it, Bullet! Don't bite it!
Is the axle broken?
Oh, it's all right. I guess the cotter key busted and the nut came off. Pat never has any tools in this thing. I'll see if I can find a pole and try it out.
Roy, what's the matter?
Look at the blood, Dale. Somebody's been wounded bad. There must have been a gunfight here.
Roy, look. Why, that's Frank Stewart,
Who's he?
one of our new neighbors.
Give me a hand, Pat. Let's get him to the Jeep. He's still alive.
Roy, we can't risk taking him into town. We've got to stop at the first house and send for the doctor.
Well, there's a place not far from here. I'll ride on ahead and tell him you're coming.
Now, Pat, you drive carefully.
Don't worry, Dale. You hear that, Nellie Bell? None of your carryings on. We got a sick man with us.
Who is it?
I don't know, but after what's happened, we can't be too careful. Hey, hold your fire! Don't shoot, I'm a friend!
You recognize him, Jeff?
I never seen him before, but since they burned down Mark Torrey's house, I ain't taking no chances.
Why ain't he shooting?
I don't know. Calling you to keep off my land?
Frank, you'll be all right. Oh, passed out again.
Jeff, honey!
I'm all right. You got to get down fair and square.
Maybe you don't know it, mister, but you just licked the amateur champion of Kent County.
What's the idea of leaving Frank Stewart dying outside while you come in here to pass the time of day?
Frank Stewart.
What's the matter with him? He's been shot.
Well, why didn't you say so? What do you think I've been trying to do?
Is the sheriff in?
No, Dale, he's over at his house.
Pat, find Doc and tell him to get out to the Clark Ranch pronto. Come on, boys. Dale, you think Jeff Clark was telling the truth about this fight between the cattlemen and the homesteaders?
Oh, his side of it. I knew there was trouble brewing, Roy, but I didn't know it was this bad.
Do.
Open the door if you got the strength.
Hi, Sheriff.
Well, Roy Rogers, when did you get back? You know, me and the boys about decided that you'd quit us for good. How are you, Dale? You gotta excuse this place. It's kind of messed up a little bit. I promised Emmy I'd paper this room while she's visiting her sister.
Well, you can stop papering right now and buckle on your guns. Frank Stewart's been shot.
Stewart?
And Jeff Clark tried to shoot Roy.
And a homesteader named Mark Torrey had his house burnt down last night.
Well, yeah, I heard about Torrey's house burning.
Well, aren't you going to do anything about it?
What do you want me to do, arrest every cowman in the county?
Oh,
Howdy, Sheriff. Doc's on his way over to take care of Stewart.
Is Stewart hurt bad?
He probably has about a 50-50 chance.
Oh, Pat, give me a hand with this paper, will you? I gotta get it up before the paste dries.
Sure.
Here, you better put this on.
There. Just step out of the way, Sheriff. You haven't got a thing to worry about. This is easy. Because I'm an old-time paper hanger.
Well, maybe so, but remember, this is all the paper I got, and these blasted roses have to match. And another thing, I made this paste myself, and don't get any on your hands, because if you do, it'll never come off.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Easy now, easy.
You would give me the tough part. Got to go around this window.
Now, look here, Sheriff. The homesteaders have a legal right to their land.
Will you try and tell that to the ranchers?
those homesteaders moved in while you were away, Roy.
And started farming that bottomland down there between those hills.
You know, the path where you drive your cattle to market.
Sure, it's a shortcut to the loading pens at the railroad.
And the ranchers ain't going to give it up unless they have to.
Well, can't we pay the homesteaders to let us drive our cattle through?
I'm afraid not. Before the ranchers knew what was going on, why, they had strung fences and dammed up the creek so as to irrigate their farms.
Well, that's bad. But it's no excuse for violence.
Help! Help, I'm stuck! Look out, you'll tear the paper! Tear the paper! Get it off of me! Oh, give me that paper and get out of the way, you knucklehead! I should have known better anyway than let you fool with it. Hand me that brush full of paste. Here, hurry up. My own fault. Let me have the brush. I won't do it. Get away from here. I don't want you to help me. What are you doing? Now cut that out! Well, stop it! You want to knock me off of this ladder? Now cut it out! Now look at that. Isn't that a fine mess? Look at it. Oh, now just don't you worry about it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I can straighten it right. Don't touch it. It'll look just like new. No, don't. Come on. Keep your hands off that, will you? You'll pull the roses off, I told you. No, I won't. I know you will. Now look what you've done. You've ruined it. I told you not to do it. Here, give me that thing. I'll show you, you big idiot. You a fine mess. You made up everything. Try to help me, will you? I'll show you.
Mr. Rogers!
Every time I get involved with you, I get in trouble. I should have known better.
They've dynamited the dam.
Now the sheriff will have to do something about this. Excuse me a minute.
Jeff, darling.
That water sure did drown out those farms.
Certainly ruined all their crops.
It's a dirty shame, that's what it is.
A shame. It's a crime. A crime against every man, woman, and child in this valley. If the law won't do nothing about it, we will.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had a little trouble with him.
I'll see what I can do.
Dale, reckon I better go have a talk with Frank Stewart if he's able to talk.
He isn't here. The doctor took him back to town.
Oh, well, in that case, I better go back to town.
Oh, excuse me, Sheriff. Dad rot that sheriff and his dad rotted wallpaper. I'm still stuck up. You know, it's funny, ain't it? Nobody give that piece of land a second thought till folks start settling on it.
Wasn't used more than twice a year for cattle drives.
But when it was needed bad.
A gun isn't the answer to anything. Look what they've done to us.
Look at what they did to Frank Stewart.
They got us so destined to stick our head out the door.
And if we can't go out, we can't work. And if we can't work, we can't eat. I can't work. Now listen, Roy'll fix it.
There ain't nothing to fix. We're in our legal rights. Yes, you are. But a willingness to cooperate will do more than all the legal rights in the world. Did the ranchers cooperate with us?
No, they come riding in here high and mighty and giving us orders.
And I'll bet you high and mighty'd right back at them.
If Roy can get them to listen
All
to
they'll
him.
listen to is gun talk, and they get plenty of that if they set foot on my land. That goes for you too, Rogers. You're a rancher along with the rest of them. I wouldn't trust you or your friends any further than I could plug you between the eyes.
Jeff! Let him cool off, honey. He'll be all right. He's going to get himself killed. You mark my words. He'll get himself killed.
Looks like we're going to have to settle this matter right away. Let's get on to the ranch. I'll phone the other ranchers and call a meeting.
Hi.
Well, Al is Mac Houston. This is
All right, Pat. Howdy, Miss Dale.
Hiya.
We heard heard you were back, and we just dropped over to swap news.
Yeah, your cook let us in.
Well, if you hadn't, I'd have fired him. How about a cup of coffee?
Fine, I'll make some.
We're certainly glad you're back, Roy. Aren't we, son?
Well, that depends.
Depends on what?
Depends on which side you're on.
Well, if you're talking about the homesteaders, I'm on the side of law and order.
We was here before them squatters.
They're not squatters.
Easy, son.
Don't forget those homesteaders have us on the spot. They hold the rights to the land we should have owned years ago.
Well, we were too dumb to think of it.
So you're taking their side.
Keep your shirt on, son. You're a rancher, Roy. You know perfectly well that we have to drive our cattle through that draw in order to water them. Otherwise, it means a forced drive the long way round.
And that takes pounds off of the beef and money out of our pockets.
You two are worried about dollars and beef while Frank Stewart's fighting for his life with a bullet in him.
And what about Torrey's house being burned down?
Yeah, and the dam was dynamited.
Are you accusing us?
I'm just asking what you know about it. Okay. You might as well tell me. I'll find out anyway.
If you live that long.
No, you don't.
Mac! Roy, what's got into you? Why, you're friends and neighbors.
Fine bunch of friends and neighbors you are.
Shut up. We came over here to find out which side Roy is on. Now we know. Put that gun away and let's get out of here.
Let go of my gun.
Oh, I'm trying to, but I'm stuck on your gun. Not that I like it, but my hand is glued to it. I said, oh.
I intend telling the other boys how you're siding, Rogers.
Roy has just as much to lose as anybody else. And remember, it's taking sides that caused all this trouble.
You might tell the boys that whoever dynamited that dam ruined all their crops.
And those people are facing starvation.
And I'm going to find out who's responsible.
You do that and you'll have every cowhand in the country gunning for you.
Now you got both sides against you.
It's lucky you ain't running for office.
I'll take care of this.
You can't go alone, Roy.
Oh, don't worry, I'll protect him. That's for you, Nellie Bell, so you won't run down the hill and hurt yourself. You know, I never thought I'd see the day when Roy's own neighbors would be gunning for him.
Did you find anything, Roy?
Well, 2 men were here when Stewart was shot. And from the looks of these footprints, they could be the same 2 that were at the dam.
I found you.
What happened, Vinny?
Jeff's gone gunning for Al Houston. Al Houston? He swears that Al and his son been making all the trouble. That's why I come looking for you, Mr. Rogers.
Which way did Jeff go?
Toward the North Gap. He's trailing Al. Pat, you go with Roy.
Okay, Dale, don't you worry. I'll see that he won't get hurt. Come on now, Nellie Bell. I got no time to fool around with you. Would you 2 girls mind giving my girl Nellie Bell a push? Oh, come on now, Nellie Bell. At least you can go down the hill. Oh, Pat! Dale, I know exactly what you're going to say, but I haven't got the brake on.
think you're going?
To stop Jeff Clark from killing your dad. He's trailing him.
In that case, I'll stop him myself, permanently. Get out. I said get out. I'm taking your guns and your horse to keep you from sticking your nose in our private affairs.
Stay out of this, Bullet.
Let me handle it. Bob! Oh, excuse me, Roy.
Sit on him till I get back.
Don't try anything, or I'll give you a haircut. Mohawk style.
Stay with Pat, Bullet. This is my business and you ain't mixing in it. That's what Max said. But it happens to be my business, too. If you shoot Al Houston, the whole county will go up in smoke. That's Al's horse. If you kill him...
How could I? I ain't caught up with him yet.
Ooh, boy. Easy, fella.
Ooh. You sure that's Houston's horse?
Well, I ought to be. I've seen him enough. Now, Al should be in that direction someplace. Well, I don't see any marks on the saddle.
Jeff! Jeff!
My horse throwed me. Broke my leg. Which puts me right where you want me, doesn't it? Well, why don't you shoot?
I ain't shooting a man with a broken leg, even if it is you.
That's one I owe you.
Listen, Dale, I come into town peaceful-like, just to see the doctor. You hustle me over to the sheriff's house as if you were going to have me arrested.
Well, Roy wants to see you. The ranchers and the homesteaders are holding a meeting at the town hall.
Why didn't somebody tell me about it?
Well, we just didn't think you'd be well enough to come.
There he is.
What's all this about a meeting?
It's over. We've come to an agreement.
All we need is your approval to make it unanimous.
Make what unanimous?
The homesteaders have agreed not to prosecute.
They've also agreed to move out bag and baggage, and Frank Stewart's willing to forget that bullet he ran into.
You mean we can drive our cattle through?
If we give them the same amount of ground from our ranches.
And build new houses for all of us.
And help them put in their crops.
Whose idea was that?
It was Roy's.
Why didn't we think of that? Instead of rampaging around the country just asking for trouble.
There's always a peaceful way to settle an argument.
Yes, if people would just take the time to find it.
And they can find it if they're willing to see both sides of the problem.
Trouble was, all we could think of was our own side.
I reckon we've been pretty bad neighbors, Jeff.
I reckon we have too, Al.
If you ain't got good neighbors, who's going to come over and give you a helping hand? Look how I came over to help out the sheriff. Don't touch it! There you go. I was just trying to be neighborly, Sheriff.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Roy Rogers television show, brought to you free here on the internet by Wild West Toys. We hope you'll come by ToyGuntown.com and shop with us. And we hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really hope to see you again on down the trail.
Happy trails.